and I don't want to think about feet when I'm drinking wine.
Fuck it, let's just go for it. Let's go the Make America Great Again hat.
Pleasant and serial killer, clearly Tesla.
This is a design of a madman's necessity.
This feels morning radio.
Hey,
I kind of like...
welcome to Drive Time.
Drive time radio.
I've done a lot of morning radio as a comic, and it's gone away for the most part. Like, used to go in early and do local market radio, and
I feel like this is something Marin talks about all the time, like lamenting like the
death of local radio. I mean, the nice thing is
drive people to shows, right?
Yeah, the nice thing is you don't have to get up early anymore. But it used to be like you'd fly in Thursday and do Friday morning radio. And I remember towards the end of it asking out loud, did anyone here hear me on the radio today? And no one would ever say that they did. And I was doing it not to be a dick, but just to like let the clubs know, like, you're wasting your money.
Yeah, right.
Like, just put that $300 you gave them to have me on the radio into like social ads.
Yeah. You know, back when I was at Super Deluxe, and this is like probably the swan song of like the content era.
Yeah.
Of like viral videos making sense to anybody.
Yeah.
A very good friend of mine, Dimitri Tsumakis, who is part of Everything Is Terrible, this video collective. He was my friend of mine. He worked there. We worked at BuzzFeed together too, and he made this incredible observation that like I don't think this even exists anymore, but at the time, you know, if you make videos for a living, like viral videos during the content days, you're just constantly, especially Facebook video, you're constantly trying to get someone to push it out there and get it out there. Reach is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And for a time, truly the most important players in the entire content like universe were local radio Facebook pages.
Oh, I remember this.
They were like the main drivers of all meme and viral video traffic because because it's just like the most low effort populist thing. They had to take like social media seriously.
I forgot about that.
It was a huge thing, and I can't imagine it exists anymore. There's no way.
I remember that. Yeah, like K106.
Yeah.
And then it would just be like weird video of dog biting someone's balls.
I mean, yes. That is exactly it.
I have two least favorite. The new version of that, which I hate the most, is in today's social media, is the clearly fake, heartwarming.
Oh, the staged videos.
Yeah. Those like, oh no, this lady left her baby on a train, and then this drunk guy.
I saw you comment on that. I saw that get served on Facebook or not Facebook, on Instagram, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And it's a clearly like the angles are too perfect.
Guy. Yeah. Like no mom's walking off a train on a phone call.
Yeah.
And leaving her baby on the train.
And no one else is on the train platform.
Yeah. So staged. And then my other big favorite is I love fake podcast Instagram ad.
Oh,
guy who cannot read pretending he's on Joe Rogan.
Oh my God. The amount of times where you see someone who's just doing like, I was really struggling with hair loss and virility, and then I can't believe I took this pill. It's so terrible.
It's like
just this 1,000-yard stare.
It's crazy. It's like there's nobody there, and this is making this so creepy.
Yeah. I've commented a few times on some of those ads, be like, is there a guy on the other side of that microphone? On the other side of the camera?
There's not a guy in that chair talking.
No.
You might as well be AI, buddy, because you're not a person.
I gotta say, there is a part of even just starting a podcast now where it does feel like, oh man, like everyone doesn't take that much to it's such a hack. It can be so hack now, right? Do you think about this at all?
No,
because you deal with hacks all the time.
Because I'm not doing this. I'm doing this because I like you and I want to talk about shit I like.
Yeah,
and like this is like forced time to think about the stuff that I like with another adult.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's one of the reasons I do really love this.
Yeah, and it's not like I'm not here because it's like and also I want people who like the shit we like. You know, I want the people who are getting served the Instagram ads for this beanie by that guy in Sweden to come also join in. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like the whole point of this for me was just like, oh, I want to connect more with the people, niche down, as they say.
Yeah.
I want to find the other Dr. Dog fans.
I would love for this podcast to be so absolutely alienatingly specific to like a core audience of not like 5, but like a few thousand.
Yeah, that's all you
That'd be
need.
a major success.
Yeah.
If anything, we're not specific enough yet. It's only I hope it only gets weirder for us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, but also like that's the stuff I love. Well, we're not experts. I think there's even a podcast called We're Not Experts. But like most of the stuff we're talking about, we're not experts. We're just like, this is what I like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're kind of like half-ass detectives.
It is a little bit of that. I've been thinking a lot about this when I'm driving around, especially when I'm doing like daycare drop off of like, how would I just like start? What's like the elevator pitch on this thing? And because when I kind of came to you to talk about this, when I said to you, like, I think I have an idea for something that's like the mood board, and you were like, and you immediately understood it without me even saying any other words.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, yeah, because I've been trying to do this other idea for a while, and I immediately knew what you meant.
Yeah. So wait, let me run this by you, and you tell me if this kind of tracks. Because I kind of feel like where I was coming from with it is that in the design world, which is like really huge, the design, like especially online, the design world, and not just, I mean like graphic designer. I'm talking about niche down. Like,
yeah, I get those Instagram posts of nice lamps with 50,000 likes.
Yeah, and this is not even the lamp stuff. This is literally people who are graphic designers for a living. Like that world is so self-congratulatory and so self-serious. And there are a few podcasts which are design focused, but it's actually very boring to talk about design. The only good design podcast is 99% Invisible, and that's like very broadly about design. And Debbie Millman, who is an incredible podcaster, who was doing this kind of thing with famous designers before YouTube even existed.
Whoa.
She was just like recording conversations over the phone and posting them on like her website back in like 2000 or something like that. She's incredible. She's married to Roxanne Gay. Cool. She was a teacher of mine at SVA. She's incredible. But outside of those two, everything else is kind of boring crap or talking about the design industry, which is I do not care about. So what I always wanted to do, and what we're doing with what I see was doing with this is like, number one, this can be fun. It can be something that's not like a LinkedIn certificate you can add to your profile. I don't want to make anyone's career
I don't even
better.
know what any of those things mean.
That's totally fine. Nor should you.
But also, I think that's part of it is the fact that like I come from an appreciation standpoint, not not a creative in that space.
Yeah.
Like I've made posters for comedy shows for literally 20 years now. And I have always had like shit in my house that I love. You know what I mean? But like for me, so much of design is like any good art. It's just a punch in the gut when it's really good. You kind of know it's right. Or it's good and it's subtle and you don't notice it.
Totally.
Anything else can go either way. Mm-hmm. But it's like art. It's supposed to make you feel a little something.
Totally. And to the point I wanted to get with why I wanted to make this, for me, like what like is just driving force for me is like, everyone is kind of a creative director at this point, and you don't have to be professionally a creative director, you know, like, and this is you're a comedian. You've never worked as a professional, like a senior art director or a creative director or anything.
No, the closest I've gotten, I was the head writer for.
Was it Westbrook?
Westbrook, yeah. For when Will Smith was doing his social media thing, which was like
pretty close
in the ballpark. The guy Lucas, who was my boss, he was that creative director role, and he's, you know,
is that Lucas Kaiser?
Yeah,
I think I follow him on Instagram.
He's the best.
He seems to do really cool work.
Yeah, he does. He's like he's really intelligent in a way that's like, I don't know. He's just like a fun, smart dude. And he was like kind of my Sherpa into like more of like a business side of the world for a little while. Cause I didn't have any of that kind of stuff in the beginning. And like gave me a shot at that job when I was like almost like woefully underqualified. Like I was good with the writing and the comedy side, but like having to sit in and like pitch stuff to like Broadway video from maybe TV, you know, it was a good learning experience.
Yeah.
That I learned I was not prepared for in certain ways, but it was good.
It could be very deep water to be thrown into.
Yeah.
But to be everyone's a creative director now, and that's totally fine. And I wanted to kind of like ultimately, I feel like, you've worked in the industry, but like tangentially and briefly, but you're a stand-up, doing stand for 20 years, and I kind of wanted to capture what it feels like when creative people talk about shit.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's not that different, no matter what your fucking job is.
Yeah,
it's like. It's like diving deep into things and sort of like what are your weird takeaways from it and how does it influence you?
That's my favorite thing. I love watching people who are experts or not even experts, just like intelligent people talk about things.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Just like break down stuff. That's the bread and butter for me.
Hard transition here. Hard segue. How was your Spotify Wrapped?
Yeah.
How was it for you?
Pretty on the board, I will say. I can tell this year wasn't a big meditation year for me because I listened to the same Ravi Shankar record every time I meditate, and it was not in my top 5 for the first time in like 4 years.
Oh, wow.
Like normally my top 5 is just the Ravi Shankar record, and my top 5 songs are the first 5 songs from that record, and maybe like one thing breaking in.
Wow. Okay, so it's pretty locked up usually.
It's usually Ravi Shankar, hands down. Like, and if you were like, "Are you a big Ravi Shankar fan?" I wouldn't be like, "Oh hell yeah, I love Ravi Shankar."
The first 5 songs of this one album, yes.
Yeah, that are exactly 20 minutes long for my meditation. You want to know one of the most disappointing things ever? They finally released it. It's a George Harrison produced Sounds of India Ravi Shankar record. Incredible, right?
Yeah.
Great record for meditating to. There's like a good endpoint when you know 20 minutes is up. And they've released it for Record Store Day a couple of years ago. And I was so excited. And I found a copy when I was down in New Orleans a couple of years ago. And it was like marked up like crazy. And I was like, you know what? This is the album I meditate to. This would be great. I'll get it on vinyl. I get it. Side 1 of the record is not 20 minutes long. So you can't do the full 20-minute meditation to the record. So to me, it's like, well, this was a waste of money.
It's actually really just a tool for you. And so, I mean, you must spend a lot of time on it. Oh, wait, so your Spotify this year was not that?
It was not that. So
I had actual music in there.
I had actual music.
By popular recording artists.
Yeah. And it's funny, but it's like, I can't totally remember who it was, but I kind of did a joke about it where it was like, I put up a reel just being like, I don't need to see your Spotify rap list. You can just show me a photo of how you dress and I can tell you the top 5 bands that are on your rap list.
That's a good bet.
And it's true. Like, if you look at this outfit, you know that Vampire Weekend was in there.
Oh my God, literally.
You know Dr. Dog was in there. You know Grateful Dead was in there.
So much Vampire. It's Vampire Weekend is in my top 5, I think, the last 4 years. And then it's not even an intentional thing. It's not like I consider myself I don't identify as a Vampire Weekend fan, but I clearly am a huge Vampire Weekend fan.
That's how I am too. I'm like, they've never been a band. But I listened to that first record, and the new record's great too.
It's great.
Yeah. But it's also like, you know, Strokes are always in there. You know, I think the Walkmen were in there this year. It was a big year for the Walkmen for me. I've been revisiting that You and Me album a lot, which is so good.
The Walkmen, no matter what song I'm listening to, sounds like Christmas music to me.
That you're thinking of the You and Me album. That You and Me album does have that like.
Is that the We've Been Had song?
And Canadian Girl, like you are the morning,
probably.
I am the night. It's like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got like that.
It's that kind of plaintive, reverby piano stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. It all sounds like Christmas in New York to me.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, it kind of has that like behind fogged glasses, little drunk.
When like
everything in this bar is made of wood.
Yep. Manhattan specifically, if there's snowfall, it literally is quieter.
Yes.
You like those like dead echoes.
Yeah,
when you're walking down the street like 3 a.m. out of a bar. It was I guess that's exactly where I go with a Walkman song.
Yeah. So I think it was like a lot of that. And it's also funny because sometimes you'll like find an artist towards the end of the year and you're listening to them like crazy, and you're like, this has got to be on it, and it's
Right?
not. Oh, also a lot of Bad, Not Good, and Krunben.
Yeah.
You know,
Trungbing was on mine.
yeah, it's good.
Vampire Weekend. Who there was someone else. I can't. I mean, it's. Well, guess you're looking at me right now. You know two of them.
Yeah. Oh man.
I have to wait. Let me. I know I have it saved on my phone because I can. I can
pull mine out too, but I think it's. Oh. You're wrapped. Okay. You know what's funny for you, because I know you're like Long Island hardcore, so I feel like there would be secretly one of those on there.
You know,
you're also, there's no time for a dad to listen to hardcore.
Yeah, there's not like there's a New York Magazine emo playlist that I spent a lot of time on, but
That's funny.
it did not even make it. Oh my god! Wait, I didn't realize there's a playlist of the tops.
I'm gonna turn down this volume.
Okay, here's one you would not expect. Third Eye Blind, Semi Charmed Kind of Life.
Whoa!
Because I played it for my son, ironically,
and he loved it.
And he loved it. And then we probably played it 4 times a day for a month straight, and that was enough to break through.
It's so funny how all of that, like Third Eye Blind, made a big comeback in the past couple of years.
That whole like alternative rock thing.
Radio rock.
That's a great name
alternative radio rock. Like pop.
I think it's been redeemed a little bit.
Pop alternative.
Yeah. Along with like new metal.
Hold on, I want to guess yours.
I just glanced and I'm like, oh yeah, now I know exactly. It's name one other artist that I think you'll know. I mean, you won't be surprised at all.
Taylor Swift.
No, I actually have lukewarm to no feelings about Taylor Swift.
I'm kind of similar. I
don't care.
The only connection I have I have 2 connections to Taylor Swift. One, the Ryan Adams cover album of her,
which is like so problematic.
Yeah, bought it before we knew. I'm very much Team Mandy.
Yeah,
I've been Team Mandy for a long time. And then the other one is I got to see Taylor Swift once perform on SNL.
Oh, like live in the studio?
When she hosted in, I don't know what year it was, but it was crazy. She was great. She did the opening monologue, and she was so funny, and she wrote it herself. Nobody from the staff helped her.
Wow.
And she wrote like a really funny song. And then got to see her perform on the floor at SNL, which was fun. Like, I feel like I got to live most women's in America's dream.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
And then I was at the after party and she walked past me. And this is on the Ascension. This is not Taylor Swift of today.
Eras Tour, yeah.
No, this is like she, at this point, she was a cult hero stepping into like major stardom.
Mm-hmm.
And it was after her and the dude from Twilight broke up. She dated the werewolf.
Robert Pattinson?
No, that's the vampire.
I
don't remember his name. Yeah, something like that. But I remember Taylor Swift standing next to me, and she had on heels, but she was as tall as me.
You're
in
like
heels.
6'1"?
I'm 6 foot.
Yeah.
And I just remember being like, that's a tall ass lady. And she was like, and standing next to her, you're like, this is like a next level of famous.
You can just tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can tell when you're with like a person who's crazy famous or about to be crazy famous.
I think you're right. Oh, actually, so the one artist, the other third artist that is like all over my playlist, wrote songs for her. St. Vincent.
Oh, Annie Clark.
Annie Clark.
I got another good Annie Clark story.
She wrote, maybe it's a Bad Reputation or something like that. She wrote Taylor Swift songs. And like I can now kind of like, I saw my 40th birthday present was going to see St. Vincent at the Greek.
St. Vincent.
Love her since the first album. They've never stopped loving her stuff. And I just realized she is kind of my Taylor Swift of just a sort of like perfectly dialed in produced pop stuff that speaks
That's
specifically
like,
to me.
Yeah, that has like a hardcore rock and roll edge.
Yeah, I mean, like songs about missing a version of New York. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
that's for me.
Yeah,
that is
100%. She's really cool. I met Annie Clark. I met St. Vincent. My ex worked on a movie that she made.
Where's the hotel something or other?
Yeah. With what's her name from Sleater Kinney and
Carrie?
Portlandia. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they made a movie, like really low budget, funny comedy movie with the two of them. And my ex did hair on it. And we went to dinner one night and like the bunch of us for like the wrap party kind of thing. But it was so small. So I was like sitting with her.
That's cool.
Yeah. And she was really funny and nice. And then like 6 months or a year later, I'm not great with faces sometimes. And so I didn't realize it was her. And we were standing in front of All Time in LA. My friend was in town visiting and my friend was like, so you listening to any cool new music lately or what's going on? And I just was like rattling off some kind of stuff. And then when Annie Clark was standing next to us and I didn't realize it, St. Vincent, and she went inside and then my friend was like, do you know who that was? And I was like, no, I missed it. Who was it? And she was like, that was St. Vincent. I was like, oh shit. And she was like, she was staring at you. And I was like, what? She was like, yeah, she kept like looking at you. And I was like, oh, I met her before. Maybe she was trying to figure out who the fuck I was. Like, how do I know this round-faced weirdo? Though, to be fair, I look like every man in Silver Lake who produced the last Weekend record.
It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of comes back to us just being stereotypes of like, I know what your top 5 is. We broadcast it.
Yeah, I broadcast it, but it's also, it is a taste. I like what I like.
I am what I am.
And I am what I am. And I don't mind being a bit on the nose about it because it's what brings me joy.
We don't have much of a choice at a certain point.
Yeah.
Should we,
Yeah, we're 21 in. We got to kick this board off.
Yeah. This is a fun one. So there's a little bit of I didn't do any research, but someone else did research that I'm gonna share.
We love not having to do the research.
Yeah,
this might get
so. There's not a lot of like marketing Instagrams that are worth following because it's a lot of regurgitated terrible advice. But this one's genuinely very good choice hacking. What is her
actual name?
Jennifer Kleinhens.
Hello, Jennifer Kleinhens.
I love her account. She is a psychology, behavioral science person. And the stuff that she shares is really great stuff just about how people think, the psychology end of advertising and marketing, which is maybe the only interesting part of advertising and marketing, which is like how this affects people, what's going on with people, the curiosity of it. So this one that she shared, ugly websites are more persuasive, is something that has been, I read this months ago and I've never stopped thinking about it.
Nice.
To summarize what we can kind of click through it, but basically this kind of goes into how Google has a small division called Jigsaw, and here's their website is right here. We develop new technology and conduct research to protect open societies and inspire scalable solutions. It kind of feels like a little incubator of like spy game shit in a way, or like social hacking. It's really interesting that they are like here to research, like the things they are researching are disinformation, toxicity, censorship, violent extremism. This is funded by Google.
Whoa.
It's kind of
also cool. That like log line of who they are is so like vague to me. Like I read that and I'm like, I don't know what this is.
Yeah, and maybe they don't know what they are. I think a lot of like groups inside of giant tech companies are a little formless, and maybe purposely so. Yeah. I don't really know, but and also this website of like the spotlight, you're
that's cool. That feels a little old school.
Yeah.
And I like all these little like graphic-y things that like these are kind of the Google colors, but not totally the Google colors.
Yeah, and it's like it's dark. They're shedding light on something. It's well done. Yeah. Jigsaw. I never heard of them otherwise. So they form Jigsaw Want to learn how conspiracy theories spread online. And instead of just clicking the Instagram, basically they discovered that in spreading conspiracy theories online, the uglier the website, the better.
Whoa.
The idea...
Because dumb people have bad taste?
Well, that's one take, JF. It's actually the idea that something slick and beautifully designed is part of the establishment. And ugly is DIY, it is lo-fi, it is made by the people, it is anti-establishment, which lends it this era of like authenticity versus something being sold and packaged to you versus something like that is made cheaply and done really quick.
Email.
Excuse me, I'm in a meeting.
Packaging.
It's much more likely you believe what's going on because it's made by a peer and not by the establishment.
Yeah.
I cannot get over this because after the election we just went through and like the Trump...
I'm sorry, what? There was an election?
Did I not tell you? Did I personally not tell you about this? I should have kept you up to date on this.
How did it go? Did we win?
No, it didn't really go very well at all, but it went exactly the way we knew it was going to go. No big surprises. I've become obsessed with the idea of the concept of ugly design. And so I want to play a game with you here today. Here we go. So I have for you here today. So you're familiar with the New York Magazine approval matrix?
Yes.
I'm ripping this off completely.
Great.
I don't know what we're gonna call this yet. Maybe just the ugly design matrix.
Sure.
We have two polls here. Go from hideous to pleasant looking.
Yes.
And then there's a mental health in the middle, which is well adjusted to serial killer.
Okay. Yes.
I picked a bunch of stuff that I think is truly hideous design. This is not all the ugly design in the world, but this is just some of the examples that came to mind. And I was hoping that we could place this together on the board and talk through each one where we think it lies in the matrix of well-adjusted, hideous, pleasant serial killer. And to let me pause there and how do you feel about this?
I love this so much. I can't imagine. This would have took me 6 years to make. You probably made this in 20 minutes.
Well, there's a lot of great tools to do this easier now. So, to level set, I have 4 examples here just so we're not flying completely blind.
Okay.
On the top right, as far as well-adjusted and pleasant design, I'm saying the 2012 Obama branding.
Perfect. Couldn't be any more like, hey, this is just clean. You can tell something positive is happening here.
Yeah, it's like the establishment, but it's still very friendly.
And it's a little hip.
It's just a little hip.
It's more hip than your average. Like, it's not even saying like, hey, vote for us or running for president. It's none of that. It's just like numbers, guy who you know is running for president, you figure it out.
Yeah, and if you remember, the old Obama logo had a bunch of like gradients to sort of look like it looked like amber waves of grain, like the Purple Mountain's Majesty.
Yeah,
they simplified it. It's much cleaner now.
Love it.
Back then, so that's where we're gonna establish the most not boring, but like the most pleasant and sane.
Yeah.
On the bottom, pleasant and serial killer. Absolutely unhinged, clearly Tesla. Giant company that is probably doing like electric cars are great for the world.
But the man getting the money from it is I'll take that again. Yeah, but the man receiving all the money from the electric cars that is saving the world is just funneling it into fascism.
Yeah.
He's trying to bring back the Nazi thing.
Yeah. And
which, looking at that logo, little Nazi.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a giant fucking dagger.
Yeah.
Through the heart of
hope.
The heart of hope. Not a coincidence. Obama right there on the other side.
Yeah.
So well-adjusted and hideous. In Touch magazine, your People magazine, it's truly like awful to look at, but like not. It's a problem. It's not like the best for America, but like it's low stakes.
Yeah.
It's not. It's like it's
unless you're the people having your phone hacked.
Yeah, they mean like not super well adjusted, but as far as the design
but what's
goes,
happening with Ben and Jen 50 years after they broke up?
Yeah, that thing. And then serial killer and hideous, just the Zodiac killer.
Yes.
I mean, we
honestly, I think that's great design.
Genuinely feels like a punk rock poster. We do not condone serial killing.
No.
But
or CEO killing.
But if you are going to leave behind, if you are going to commit an awful atrocity, and you're going to leave behind clues,
you might as well
have fun with it.
Yeah, you might as well. You might as well leave behind a note that looks like Gen Z face tattoos.
Yeah, shit. This looks like this is Post Malone's back.
Yes.
Okay, so that's just kind of where we're level setting. Let's go through what I've pulled. Some stuff might be familiar, some not so much.
Okay.
But let's quickly go through it, and then you can tell me where you want to start.
Okay.
Top right, you can see, of course.
Let's just start.
You want us to jump in?
Yeah, let's just start at the top.
Yeah.
Let's start with that video game console.
So, okay, this is the PS5.
Okay.
PlayStation 5. You've seen you're not a big video game guy, right?
No, but I grew up with the Nintendo and PlayStation original.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's original flavor.
Original flavored PlayStation.
All this stuff, it's meant to live in your room, in your house. It's essentially, it's an electronic that has to live next to your TV. Every single video game console has like laid flat and is like some sort of box that can easily be tucked into a shelf.
Yes.
For whatever reason, Sony this go around made this thing that looks like it might be scuba gear or something.
You know what's funny about this PlayStation? I would never want this in my house, correct?
It's really ugly.
But if that was a building, how cool of a building would that be?
Wouldn't you fucking hate it if you walked through Barcelona and you saw that and you'd be like,
no,
oh, God.
Not if it was done right. If that was like brutalist architecture, concrete, and then that front part was just the windows, I'd be like, that's a cool building.
All right, I can't argue with
But as a cheap piece of plastic with terrible lighting that has to sit in my house of Danish modern joy, fuck off.
It looks like someone hit pause on a lava lamp. It doesn't really. It's the ugliest thing, and it's super impractical.
It looks like cheap Eastern European furniture.
Oh yeah,
you know, like something you would see in Airbnb in Prague.
Oh, I totally see that. Yeah. I think most video game
like this is a
stuff
terrible end table.
Just like a circular piece of glass on the top, and that's it. I absolutely see that. It feels like the first time I saw a video game console like cave to video game accessory, like YouTuber culture, like big swooshy,
weird
leather,
purple light in the background.
that shit.
Yeah.
Real ugly. Do you want to start placing this, or should
we can place it. We can go one through one and place it.
I haven't placed them yet either, so I feel like we can kind of do this together.
Okay, I'm gonna put it low hideous. It's not serial killery to me.
I think it's it's relatively pleasant because it's if it's that corporate, I feel like there's still something that's being focus grouped.
It's funny. It like similar to the thing. It has very little edge.
Yeah.
It's like trying to be bold while making no statement at all, which makes it ugly. Mm-hmm. But once again, if it was a building, it would be beautiful.
I feel like it's very Tesla adjacent.
Yes. Yeah. Honestly, if you told me that's the thing you plug your Tesla in to charge it, I would be like, correct.
Oh my God. It looks like a Tesla
charging station.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I want to actually just see what a Tesla charging station looks like. I mean,
yep.
Yeah.
That's its baby. It was literally cut out of the middle of that Tesla charging station.
Look at that. The PS5 looks like someone chopped out. It's like the donut hole to the Tesla charging station.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. I mean, I feel like them.
Okay, we got to move it closer to the Tesla logo.
That goes way closer to Tesla. I think.
Yeah. Perfect.
That makes sense.
Okay.
I'm going to pick one. I want to talk about Liquid Death.
Okay. You, by the way, to be fair to the Liquid Death people, because I feel like you're about to talk some shit.
I'm actually not. I'm actually not.
I was going to say, this is one of the more ugly cans of Liquid Death. I like the classic black and the classic white. This is the silver.
Oh, yeah, you're right. This
And
is
the T family of Liquid Death cans, not the biggest fans.
gets a little, remember the Diet Coke branding from the 90s? Like the gold can?
Yeah.
Or like a little...
That was the caffeine-free Coke.
Right. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. You show up to a party as a kid, you're like, what the fuck is
I
this
had
shit?
an aunt who was big caffeine-free.
So just sugar water.
Yeah.
Just sugar water. I've said some snarky things about Liquid Death to you.
I'm a big fan.
Personally.
Also, they've sent me a lot of free Liquid Death over the years and tons of free merch, and will probably one day sponsor this podcast.
I'm gonna go to record as saying I love the product. I genuinely love the product.
It's great for the environment.
Yeah. I know a dude who used to work there.
Yeah.
I think it is a good company.
Here it comes.
No. I spent a lot of time on LinkedIn, and the jerking off of Liquid Death as a brand exercise is rampant and truly boring. Like if you want to fill your LinkedIn content feed and seem like you have an opinion on branding, is just talk about how Liquid Death knocked that out of the park again. It's a really easy way. It'd be like saying, hey man,
new Bill Burr specials, just great, man.
Have you heard of the Beatles? You know they invented rock and roll. Man, they just do it for me every single time. It's like having no opinion whatsoever.
Yes.
It drives me crazy.
Correct.
But they're great. And I wanted to bring it up. It's a pretty expensive corporation at this point. Though they're a small outfit.
They got over $1 billion assessment.
Yeah, they're doing pretty well. But I feel like it was worth bringing up on the sort of anti-establishment thing.
Oh,
because the origin of Liquid Death, if you don't know this, is that the founder Jesse Cesario was like had friends on the Warped Tour, and all his friends who were in bands on the Warped Tour were drinking Monster Energy drinks on stage.
Yeah,
but there was water in the can. They weren't drinking Monster Energy. And it's like, well, this is disgusting. They're advertising this thing that's gross and terrible for people. What if there was just a water, like actual canned water that people weren't embarrassed to be drinking? And the relax is just water like tagline is fantastic. It's so anti-establishment.
It's great.
Of the other water brands, which are like Clean or Fiji water, or they do rock the boat in a great way.
I also just think it's like, yeah, we should be doing that versus plastic. Plastic it's terrible for your body and consumes so much water to make a bottle of plastic. It takes like 8 gallons of water to make a little bottle of water.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why recyclable canned water is so much better for the environment.
And if you were a grown man at some sort of like social event, like a show, like a music show, and you're like, I can drink 1 beer now. You're sober. Like it's something to put your hands on. That doesn't feel like a little.
Yeah, it looks like a 22 of.
It's a tall boy.
Yeah, it's a tall boy of Modelo Especial.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and it does the trick.
Perfect.
So I'm all for it. Please let that $1 billion valuated company know that one dude is thinks they're doing a great job.
Yeah. Also, thank you for that giant water bottle you sent me. They sent me a refillable water bottle.
Oh, that's nice.
That's a giant Liquid Death.
That's sweet of them.
Yeah. And like 7 cases of water.
Oh, I would want that any day.
Yeah. I'm gonna go. I put this on the well-adjusted side and the pleasant side. It's like
I kind of agree, but I think it's like it's trying to gross you out. So I would kind of put it a little bit closer.
I could live with that.
To the hideous side.
I think it's like trying to touch hideous, but it's also being like we're good.
Yeah,
yeah.
They're still doing something good for the world, and it's still like the branding is absolutely on point.
I love it.
It all looks really good, but it is trying to freak you out a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna knock it down a little bit lower on the serial killer line, just because they've done so much stuff with like
punk rock
and like Steve-O's blood or whatever.
Oh, they did something with Steve-O's blood,
or maybe it's Travis Barker's blood. No,
I don't know.
They put Tony Hawk's blood in ink that was printed on skateboards. I might be mashing up two stunts.
I think you're mixing up some stuff.
But someone got bled for Liquid Death, and they were on board for it. So I think they are a little insane. Which
hey,
I'll
make a big splash.
Yeah. Where do you want to go next?
Okay,
what's jumping out at you?
Let's go barefoot wines.
My friend Dimitri, I mentioned earlier, if they had anything that came to mind of like ugly design that is nonetheless successful, and this was his suggestion, and I love it because
it's the world's $5 chuck.
And I don't want to think about feet.
Yeah.
When I'm drinking wine, and it's bad wine, it's not good.
Yeah, I get it because it's supposed to be like the bottom of the crushed grapes with the feet.
I still don't want to think about it.
Yeah.
I don't want that in my head.
Okay. I'm going to go, it's hideous.
Definitely on this side.
Hideous, but I don't think it's serial killer. I think it's more the well-adjusted hideous. Like, this is something your mom would have came up with.
Yeah.
And I think it's far well-adjusted. I think we want to go
like way up there.
And to the left.
It's that hideous, you think?
But it's not pleasant. Yes, it's that hideous. It's to the corner hideous.
I think with a foot as your logo, you're pretty much as far left as you can go on the hideous scale.
And also, it's like, where did we get this font? Did you steal this off of an Italian restaurant from the 90s?
Yeah.
Come eat at Buco's. We got the best gabagool.
Do you wonder if they took off the foot from the logo, would this be easier to drink? Or just handle
as someone who's been chased out of a 7-Eleven by a man with a baseball bat trying to steal a bottle of barefoot wine at 4 a.m, I would say nothing will make this wine more desirable.
I don't want to ask any follow-up questions in this story. I just want that to be
early 2000s alcoholism.
Yeah,
and I thought I could get away with it because they shut in Chicago. They shut it down at 4 a.m.
Oh, really?
Or at 2 a.m. You can't buy booze after 2.
Did you get hit with a bat or just
No. I gave it back.
Oh, you gave it back. Okay.
Yeah, because I didn't want to get hit by a bat.
I think a friend of mine once trying to sneak a bottle of wine, maybe barefoot, into a dorm, was like hiding it in his jacket. So like the school security guards didn't. This is in New York, and he was just kind of holding it there. And he was like, we were already kind of drunk, and then he just accidentally let go of it, and it slipped right down. Looked like he just like shit himself, all that entire bottle of wine, and smashed on the ground. Like, well, we're not bringing that in, so don't worry. We went up.
That's funny.
A lot of ugly alcohol brands out there, especially wine. Especially wine.
Oh my God.
I want to talk about. Well, let's talk about bitchin' sauce first.
I've never seen bitchin' sauce before.
Oh, really?
Don't know it.
You don't know bitchin' sauce?
No.
Oh, man. Okay, well, you clearly don't shop at Costco. But they also have it at Whole Foods. An almond chipotle dip.
Uh-huh.
It's very delicious.
Great.
It has... I don't think the branding has maybe ever changed. It is the consistently ugliest thing I think I've ever seen in a grocery store.
It is terrible design,
mm-hmm.
but similar to like, I'm going to trust this because it's ugly. I see that kid's face. I see the like, someone's uncle made this for somebody's mom. This is a family business.
Yeah, totally.
The kid's on the package. That kid is now 72. But they kept the fun photo of him when they dropped bitchin'. So every part of this, it's not good, but it's not bad either.
Well, that's what it comes down to, that sort of like, I trust it.
Yeah.
Right?
So this is the exact example of like, oh, I trust this. This isn't going to be bad. They have this terrible design. It still made it into Whole Foods. This is good.
That's what the thing is. It's going to be delicious. Like if you put this next to, what is it, Sabra hummus?
Oh, I'm going bitchin'.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because like I've eaten a lot of Sabra hummus in my life.
And it is fine.
Sometimes it's absolutely flavorless. Sometimes it is just a mealy texture with salt.
Yes.
Doesn't taste very good. This stuff is still very good. And you're right. It's that the ugliness of it like absolutely convinces me that
and it's just got like, hey, we got to jam in all the little logos of the other things we are. We're vegan. We're non-GMO. We're not, you know
kosher,
what I mean?
Yeah. The kerning on these letters is terrible. It touches the outside of the bubble.
This is what I mean by like an uncle made this.
Yeah. It looks like it was done in like Clip Shop Pro or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible. But it's a good product. And okay, so where
on the scale?
Yeah.
It's not serial killer. Or do you think so?
Just by how it also kind of looks like a ransom note for this child.
Okay, yes, correct. Okay, never mind. Back in serial killer. But I'm going to put it on the other side I think it's on the
It's a pleasant serial killer?
I don't think it's pleasant. I think it's slightly hideous, slightly serial killer, but like just up towards the center.
Maybe around here.
Oh, we can do that. Yeah, it's that.
It splits the diff.
I would put it up towards the top a little more then. Or maybe it's just like that is the middle of the road.
Well, yeah. There's a few of these which I feel are kind of like on the pH scale. It is the true zero.
It's hideous and well adjusted, but yeah, little serial killery.
Yeah, maybe it's down around here.
Yeah, that
we might
works
have to shrink
for me.
this because we might need to keep room for more other slightly serial killery things. There should be a third axis on just like, do I believe it or not? You know what I mean? Of like selling that authenticity. Do I think this product is good or not?
Yeah.
Which I don't know. Maybe that's what the well-adjusted is. I don't usually trust a lot of serial killers.
Yeah.
Let's keep moving through this. Okay. Where do you want to go next?
Fuck it. Let's just go for it. Let's go the Make America Great Again hat.
Yeah. This is maybe the first thing. This is what kind of inspired me to like the Trump campaign was really hideous and very effective as an anti-establishment outsider thing. And I could have picked any number of Trump, Vance, Mike, or Trump Pence branding. It all kind of looks the same, but there really is nothing more.
It ruined red hats.
I
feel bad for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Oh God, it breaks your heart. breaks your heart.
Excellent baseball organization.
They deserve better.
They deserve better. Okay. There's two problems here.
Yeah.
One, are we talking about the head that's going in the hat? Because if so, that's leaning serial killer to me. But as far as design goes, this is as bland as it gets.
That's the thing. It's pretty innocuous. It feels really default. It feels like someone.
It feels like a Who Farted shirt or like an ironic T-shirt you would have bought in the early 2000s that said like, this is a hat for the band I like.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
It feels like that Black Keys album cover.
This
is an album by the Black Keys.
It is. Let's not forget, it is a trucker hat.
Yes. The original.
It's like, the trucker hat
Van
movement
Dutch.
with the yes. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I never put that together.
Yeah.
It is kind of like, it walked so MAGA could run.
Yeah.
It's clearly, I'm almost positive, maybe not. It looks like Times New Roman. It gives, even if it's not Times New Roman, the font, it gives Times New Roman.
Yeah.
It looks like someone said, we need to make a hat for this thing called Make America Great Again. And we need to send it to the printer in 2.5 hours. Just go fucking make it. And it looks like they did it in like 15 minutes.
And
the rest was tracking down the expense
made
card.
the hat, gave it to them, and then they started making them.
Oh God, maybe.
I guarantee you,
I wonder who
their
designed
campaign didn't come up with it. I guarantee you, some guy had the hat, and Trump was like, "I like that hat. Let's make those hats." And that guy has never been paid for it.
Oh, totally.
You know what I mean? Like the Rolling Stones tongue guy got like $50.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was a woman who designed the Nike swoosh, and that was like, yeah, you could get a nice lunch on that money.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just so innocuous.
Yeah,
you know what's crazy? It's the color of red that feels particularly dangerous and evil.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? It's like the tone of red is like...
It's so aggressive.
It stands out with anything.
Yeah. Because no one...
It's like a dick being out on the subway. When you see one, you're aware of it.
Even if you're not looking at it.
Yeah,
you just like, you know it's there.
It's in the car. We might have a problem.
A MAGA hat is a penis on the subway.
Yeah,
I can't.
It just lets you know that danger might happen at any moment.
It's absolutely true.
And also the person going through some stuff. If your dick's out on the subway, you're going through something. If you're wearing a Make America Great Again hat, you're mad that your dad died before you could tell him how much you hate him.
Oh my God.
Is that too?
Nope, that's extremely bleak and is absolutely true. So it feels like right away on the well-adjusted scale, even though
It's not. I mean, design-wise, it is. That's the fucked up part. It's a it would honestly, because that's the difference. You're trying to decide.
Is it straight middle?
The Make America Great Again hat is mid.
Yeah.
It is the center of the thing. It's. But that's the problem.
I don't feel comfortable with this.
I don't either. But it is the most simple design. But the problem is, are we talking about the design or the head that goes in it?
I think this has to be
pure design.
I think it has to be a pure design. If we're talking about something that can either effectively or ineffectively communicate authenticity or anti-establishment
then
or
guess
establishment.
What? We're taking it straight to the hideous side. We're going straight on the line hideous. All the way to the left.
You think just like right there?
I think that's where it lives. But you know what's fucked up? If that was that red and white vintage hat and it just said like Nike and had like the old Nike logo on it, we would be like, this is pleasant and perfect.
Totally. I don't think you're right. I don't think we can completely divorce the content from the design. They are in dialogue together. And I also don't think I can have bitch and sauce and MAGA hats within pixels of each other. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like that's like I really like that. I really like that sauce. It's great for vegetables.
If you never knew Donald Trump and you just saw someone wearing this hat, you would be like, "Look at that sweet old grandpa."
Yeah, what like a kind of stupid but relatively harmless thing to believe.
And also, you said a thing earlier. It's Times New Roman. The hat's Times New Roman, and it is kind of like the Fall of Rome hat. Oh, it's a time.
I'm sorry, I'm just not ready for that much reality in what is a very stupid game about sauce and fonts and.
But it signifies the fall of Rome.
Yeah. Fuck. I think this is where it has to be.
Yeah.
I think this is the spot for it.
If we want, we could put it down a little bit more towards serial killer. Because it's
somewhere over here.
It's got that we made this at home. Something could be dangerous about it.
I feel more comfortable with it over here, to be honest.
Okay.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay.
If the message was not attached to the hat and it was just the pure design, it would be up with Barefoot Wines.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. On that, I'm gonna jump right to what I think is in conversation with it, with the Dr. Bottles label.
Oh, I fucking love.
I mean, when you do you?
This is my soap of choice.
For most people, I mean, it's a fantastic soap.
Yeah.
Did you watch the documentary about?
No, and I've never read the label once.
I was going to ask you, so I never actually read the label.
I've never read the label once, but it gives me a warm feeling.
There's something really comforting about. Well, here's the thing: if you read the label, you will not be any more educated on what the fuck's going on than if you hadn't read the label.
Great.
It doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Perfect.
It is the ramblings of like normally you would get this in like a really like a selfie Instagram post with a super paragraphs long caption.
Yeah.
You know, of like, what the fuck is this person talking about? They voted for RFK, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, this is RFK's soap of choice.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But they are a as far as I'm aware, a really lovely, forward-thinking company. I think they are like family and employee owned.
Yeah.
Like they're truly on the level. I think up until Dr. Bronner himself, the dude, who was a Holocaust survivor, I'm pretty sure.
Whoa! That soap and Holocaust. You don't want to mix that.
Yeah,
It's
no,
a weird. It gets weird.
It gets tricky. But I think up until his death, he was constantly updating the label. he would be going to the designer and be like, I have a new crazy rant I need in the label. And he would be constantly putting in new crazy shit in there.
So it was his way of like the original newspaper. It was his blog.
Yeah, it was his. It was definitely, that was his blog. That was his Twitter. That's where
it makes me like it more.
It really makes you like it more, but it's clearly insane.
Yeah.
Like on the right, you can see,
but it's
watch
laid
and
out.
read, kiss the ground and eating animals. Like there's not even proper grammar or syntax in these things.
Love it.
It's really, you really do love it. And it's a good, and anti-establishment. I don't feel like it's, Dove soap or like dude wipes or you know,
no, this was designed
Axe body spray or anything.
This is a design of a madman's necessity.
Yeah.
With someone who's like, okay, I'm going to make this look not crazy. Like they had a graphic designer who was like, you're crazy, but I'm going to make this look cool.
You know what? That is such a good point, because there are so many times graphic designers are in a position where it's like this is too much fucking copy. We can't.
Yeah.
We have to cut down on the copy, and the client's like, no,
where Bitch and Sauce was just like, that's what you want? Sure, I don't give a fuck. Give me the $100 and get the fuck out of my office.
Yeah. This designer, whoever did it, clearly was like, okay,
this is a great product. I want people to actually buy it.
We gotta get the
hide the rants.
We gotta get. He wants more copy. I'm gonna find a way to get the copy in.
Yeah,
and it's going every which way. And I do really respect it for that. Yeah. Clearly, everyone who was involved in this believes in it.
Yes. So much so that they're like, this man is a genius and an idiot. We have to make it look good.
So, do you feel like it's in conversation with MAGA?
No.
No.
See, this is the crazy part. For me, it's designed so well. It's pleasant.
Yeah.
It should be serial killer. But I want it.
I don't think it's near PS5 though.
No, I want it up more towards well-adjusted. I want it riding that line down, 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 up, 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 down, 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 down,
Liquid Death?
mid. I want it over the line.
I almost think this is a bold statement.
It's pleasant.
I almost think Dr. Bronner's is exactly in the middle.
It is the Matrix.
I think
I agree.
I think
kind
it
of
crosses,
everything.
I think it kind of crosses over everything, because every time I look at it, I think one of these four things at a certain point.
Yes.
I think Bronner's lives in the middle.
Yeah. By being so radical, it is the center.
Because it does bridge all the gaps.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm glad we can get on board with that.
Whoever designed that and took that man's wildness and did a fantastic job of like, this could have ricocheted off into any corner.
Yeah, and the edges never got smooth. It's been around for so long, and it's like this hippie family company that like when he died, someone could have been like, okay, we can finally get rid of this shit on the label. Like,
but also, it's eye grabbing. You see that next to the other Dove bar of soap.
No one else has manifestos on their soap.
Yeah, yeah. It's like. And the funny thing, this soap's direct competition is the naked soaps that are just in the thing, like the loose
totally
unwrapped
right.
soap. So it's like, do you want the natural unwrapped soap that was made in Doug's garage, or do you want the company that has the same feeling but is putting it in paper?
And you're gonna get the same product no matter where you go. It will still be. And if anything, like crunchy liberals and hardcore libertarians, maybe this is the one thing we have in common.
We all will put a little spicy peppermint soap on our nuts.
God bless.
God bless.
And that's the America I want to live in.
That spicy peppermint soap wakes you up in the morning. You rub that over your balls once and you're like, it is cool and we are awake.
You go camping, you bring a giant bottle of Dr. Bronner's because it's just going to clean everything. You don't have to worry about it. Cleans the dishes. It cleans.
Oh, really?
You do a little
throw it in the cast
shower.
iron?
Yeah, you do it. It just does everything for you. You don't have to worry about it. It's great. Bronner's. Wonderful. Let's.
Oh man.
Let's run through. I'm already looking at the time. Let's run through more of these really quick.
Okay, cool. Let's go juvenile.
Juvenile. Okay. Oh my God. So worth mentioning that this is done by the incredible design studio of the 90s called Pen and Pixel, which
amazing.
Did all of those covers.
Yes. All the Cash Money.
Yeah. All that shit. This is just like maybe one of the most well-known albums that was done.
Yeah, they are the ones who started the classic rap design shirt. I love this. This reminds me of my childhood so much. It's not good and it's great at the same time.
Yeah. It absolutely kind of stands the. I feel like this thing has kind of come around now with Instagram and like Canva and everyone being a little bit of a designer.
You can buy packages of design from people just with these backgrounds and fonts to make your own versions of these with anything. Like you see the Trump, you see the Hillary, you see the Michelle Obama, you see all of these things.
While we're at this, we have online ceramics right here.
Love online ceramics and hate online ceramics.
Wait, why do you hate online ceramics?
I
do
love it. I'm taking that back. I am all on board with online ceramics. I have an online ceramic shirt that I bought at a Dead & Co show. I love that they follow them around. There is a part of me that's like, okay, this online ceramics is the thing that I enjoy, but I also know I am too old for.
Oh, interesting.
Online ceramics was the first thing where I was like, this is calling back to my childhood. This could be called Gadzooks aesthetic. You remember Gadzooks, the store in the mall? It was like not Hot Topic. It was more like raver culture and like weird. It was where you would go to get like your Janko jeans. Like this feels like Gadzooks fucked a Sublime fan.
I absolutely see that.
And so I love online ceramics and I like let's just make it weird and ugly.
Yeah.
And like pull things and mix stuff together.
They have been making shirts lately that literally just look like someone's grandma in Ohio of just like a Precious Moments kind of character, or just like life's gonna be just peachy. It's not
like I love that.
The
stuff.
irony is getting buried so deep that it's literally just.
Yeah, I love it. And I do kind of like no one really knows what the fuck's happening here. We all have an interpretation, but it also feels like getting over on people a little bit. Does that make sense? Like as a company, like I don't know,
because the shirts are expensive.
Yeah, I think I paid like $50 for the one I have.
A single T-shirt.
Single T-shirt, but I got it at a concert and I wanted it for that reason.
I have a few online ceramic shirts. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're like one of those. I learned about this from like a woman I dated once who was like hit on me, who was like younger than me, that like. It wasn't so age inappropriate, but it was like when I went out with her, I'm like, oh, I'm learning about young culture. You know what I mean? Like she had a good adult job, but it was like I think there was like an 8-year gap. And I was like, this is just enough. Like she was in her 30s. I was in my late 30s, maybe just turned. Yeah, I was in my late 30s, but it was just enough where I was like,
yep. There's a 6-year difference between my wife and I, and there are micro-generational...
And this is one of those things where I know that this is calling on something from my childhood and is being reinterpreted by a Gen Z person, and it is not for me. But there are hints of things that speak to me, like the ugly website stuff, where I'm like, I see those backdrops, and it's like, I loved the movie Hackers as a kid. That was my favorite movie. Like, this is like Hackers, the clothing brand, meets with Craigslist.
Yeah, well, okay, wait a minute. So, Juvenile and online ceramics, I feel like, are a little bit in conversation with each other.
100%.
And I think
Juvenile's the original.
That's the thing, right? Is that I feel like one is self-aware and one isn't.
Yes.
I don't think.
Yeah.
Pen and Pixel were trying to make things that were like, haha, look how ugly this is. They were
trying to make stuff like, check out how fire this is.
Yeah,
like
and
this
they succeeded.
Yes.
So,
but also, is it pleasant? I don't think so.
I actually would say, I think online ceramics is on this side.
Oh, it's 100% serial killer and pleasant.
I think
hideous and serial killer. I think it's a little bit. Take it down a little more. There,
like
that's where it lives. Yeah.
You know, what's funny is I think online ceramics is a little closer to serial killer.
100%
because they're DIY out in the middle of nowhere, and this was like a design studio in Austin or something like that.
Yeah,
like there's like a noisy interview with the former owner of it, or maybe he even still exists, and he's a dude wearing like a button-down shirt, and just like, yeah, Juvenile would come by, and we would just sort of like walk you through the Photoshop file.
Yeah,
and it's just like a business for him, and these motherfuckers are doing like A24 shirts, and it's like weird.
100%, and that's the stuff that I love.
Yeah, same.
And you know what it is? I love this online ceramic stuff, but it's the shirt that I'm like, okay, I'm throwing a jacket over this because this is a lot.
Yeah, I totally see that.
I gotta level this out a bit.
What we feel like we can kind of get through here.
Is that the actual Cybertruck logo?
That is the Cybertruck logo.
No.
So wait, let's talk about these two together.
How they're the same thing made by the same exact person?
Well, Jaguar just rebranded.
Yes, and everybody hates it.
Everyone has a fucking opinion on it.
Which is so funny because to me it's so innocuous.
It's completely innocuous. And people it's again LinkedIn fodder. People love
people being like
chatting about this shit.
Yeah, and people love talking shit about anything that seems like it might be woke.
Oh, true.
So the new Jaguar, because their campaign is all like people dressed differently in futuristic clothes.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
are like, it looks like, hey, this is the future of United Colors of Benetton.
Yes.
It's space United Colors of Benetton.
Totally.
So that's, I think, why people hate this Jaguar thing more than anything. Because this just says nothing to me. It doesn't feel luxurious, which Jaguar is. It's just, it's just literally like a font you pick out. Now, here's the thing about the Cybertruck logo,
which is the real logo, which you don't see a lot actually. It's not.
I've never seen that logo before, and seeing it, I will say this: it is made by the same exact person who made that Jaguar logo. There is no way that they didn't hire the same company and were just like, so you want like something that feels like cool and punk rock? Because they are the exact opposite of the same exact thing. They're trying to say the same thing to a different group of people. Like, you want something edgy, you want something upper. Like, to me, they date.
Whoa.
You know what I mean? It's like it's not the, it's the, I see it.
It's Justin Bieber and Haley Baldwin. That's what this is. It's just sort of like, yeah, I'm like an edgy guy, and like I'm like a hot bland chick, and ultimately you're both incredibly boring, and I don't want to spend time with either of you.
100%. Though Justin Bieber, there was one album that had some bops. That's all I'm gonna say.
The Sorry song is great.
Yes,
that was a good one.
Yeah.
But as a concept, Justin Bieber, I haven't even heard from him in a long time.
I think he's just kind of like dealing with his life.
He had a lot of life happen to him.
Yeah, he had some Puff Daddy run through him.
Oh shit, you're right.
Yeah.
All right, Justin, take your time.
Yeah,
you're fine.
You'll make it back, buddy. Or maybe not. Maybe it'll come out and you're like Usher. Or maybe you're Jamie Foxx, who is the one who dropped the dime. Do you know that?
No.
Remember how Jamie Foxx, this is going around the internet, so it might not be true.
Okay.
But you know how Jamie Foxx like had like an emergency and
some
nobody
injury or something.
And nobody was like, he was in the hospital, he was recovering. People say he got dosed by Puff Daddy.
Oh, fuck.
And people are also saying that might be why Brittany Murphy died. Because Brittany used to date Ashton Kutcher and was like friends with that world.
Oh my God. It's a
lot of conspiracies.
Suddenly
here.
the loss of, if you get to the loss of Brittany Murphy, then suddenly I get very personal for me.
Yeah.
Her character in King of the Hill is fantastic, and she's a gem.
Oh. Yeah, I feel like all of this all this Puff Daddy talk is on the serial killer side.
Yeah.
Towards hideous.
So both...
They're on the opposite sides.
I think it's a straight drag up.
Drag up.
Yeah.
Yep,
that feels good. Let's get into food here. We're
gonna put them all in one bracket.
Let's just because let's just dig into this really quick. So, for your consideration, we have Bragg's apple cider vinegar.
Love. Bragg's apple cider vinegar is Dr. Bronner's ex-wife.
Oh wow! Yep, totally see that. Grillo's pickles, which I wouldn't have thought
that is their cool son. And the potato chips is him after he went to art school.
Oh my God! Well, this is Trader Joe's, and this is meant to represent all of Trader Joe's. The Trader Joe's like packaging aesthetic, which is all sort of like you might not be aware of this specific thing. Like Dover, there's a brand of books called the Dover Clip Art Books or something like that had all these royalty-free images of like old Victorian illustrations.
You can get them online now from National Public Archives.
Yes, that kind of stuff. But prior to that, you had to go to Barnes & Noble and buy the book of like whatever and scan them.
It's collage art after you can just make it on your computer.
That's completely it.
Yeah.
So Grillo's is this thing though that like has Grillo's specifically to me feels like oh, I got this. I was out in Montauk and I got like, I was at a farm stand and they have this like really like, these are good fucking pickles. Like years ago would have been like, you can only get them in Montauk. You got to drive all the way out there.
There's one store on the Upper East Side that has them.
Yes. Yes.
Because the guys are neighbors out on Sag
and they take
Harbor.
the Jenny out there in the summer. Or we have like a friend who's going out there and like,
You got to bring me back.
Exactly. Here is $200. I just would bring me back pickles.
Yeah,
That's
bring
what
me
it is.
back 6 of them. We'll keep them in the fridge for the whole year.
That's exactly it.
We'll get more next summer. They run out around spring.
But now they're just like in Whole Foods, and I saw like a billboard for them over like on Sunset or like Silver Lake area.
Yeah.
So
they've
got small town pickle vibes, but big city pickle budget.
We used to be a small company.
I don't know how small they actually. Maybe they are. They're still a local billboard. Maybe they are still small, but
that's what that logo is saying to you. It's like, hey, we used to be fun, but notice now we have this safety seal on the top versus just a normal seal.
like a rubber band holding it. Yeah.
We've moved up in the world.
Yeah.
We have to be grocery store compliant. We're not just selling them at our shack.
So let's rip through these.
Okay. The apple cider vinegar to me is on the same line, and it's closer. It's like right next to Dr. Braun's, closer to like well adjusted, and just above it. It's hideous, well adjusted, up to the left just a little bit.
Over here.
Perfect. Right?
I guess you're right.
It feels very much like your aunt made this. It's like it is
here's where I'm bumping, and this maybe I'm not. I love this product as well.
You feeling it's more serial killer?
I think it is only because it just kind of feels like something serial killers buy to go dispose of a body with.
Okay,
it feels like it's a tool.
Okay, I
in the fridge of a serial killer.
It. So let's go down, and it's in between the. Yeah,
over here.
It's over here.
Yeah. Okay. Quickly, Trader Joe's, I feel like, is
hideous and
well adjusted. Somewhere around here.
Yeah, but also kind of pleasant. I'm not going to lie. I don't mind it. I would push it more towards... Yeah.
Yeah, I think there. And then...
Pickles, pleasant. They're on the pleasant scale for me.
It doesn't feel serial killer at all.
At all. I would... Yeah.
It's weird that this is closer to Obama than Liquid Death.
I think it's closer to Liquid Death.
Do we swap it more like this?
Yeah. Yep.
I think in context, Liquid Death is actually pretty close.
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay.
And then, okay,
So this, hold on. What's this can of beans thing?
This is a dog food.
What? This is a prank made by Online Ceramics.
This is a real thing. Wait a minute. Look, it's
This is
full... Can you read that?
No. Does it say "Make America Great Again"?
No, it's owned by Burt Ward, who played Robin in the original Batman. This is his dog food company, Gentle Giants.
This is insane.
Yeah, there's a
Okay, and his kid is obsessed with Online Ceramics.
Let's just see. Hold
on. Oh, it's a foundation. What? Oh my God, I love these so much.
It's so insane.
It's crazy as all hell.
And Petco sells it.
Oh my God. This is Dr. Bronner's brother who things have not gone well for.
Yeah, this is the
they didn't have somebody reel it in the graphic design department. They had some kid who was like, I want to make something fun and crazy. I don't need to.
Yeah, that's too much information. I mean, right away, we're like, this is serial killer shit, right? This actually
100% serial killer.
It might be made of victims.
I feel like it's the polar opposite of the Online Ceramics. That is wearing the Trump hat.
Is this the closest to Zodiac we're going to get?
Yeah, but it's also kind of good design. I feel like it should be in the Trump hat. You know what I mean?
It might have more in common with Pen and Pixel Juvenile than anything else.
And that's kind of the polar opposite of the Online Ceramics.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
I see that. Okay. Then okay, well, do you want to do music real quick?
Sure.
There are so many hideous album covers out there, but this is one. I'm not even saying this is a truly significant album, but as a like,
I've never seen this new Pornographer's album cover, but I do not like it.
it's one of the worst things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
and they've done really good album art before.
The best one ever is like them just kind of standing outside in the road one.
They did one.
At least I think that's new Pornographer's. That's great.
It's a great album cover.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
And also very of its time.
Yeah, I think this is probably maybe 2012 or something.
Yeah, that's incredible.
2014. Yeah, pretty close.
So this thing feels like they wanted to make something that still felt relevant and cool.
We got to see what year this came out, though.
Which the
Challengers.
That's true, because it either was like, this is what we can do, or it's like we were trying to do something to stay young and relevant.
I think it's the former. I think this came out 2007.
Oh.
It's kind of on the line. Like it feels like you should know better. I think I feel very strongly about it. I'm going to say
I don't feel... I just know it's not good.
I think it's right there with Barefoot Wine.
Okay, I can live with that.
I think it's hideous, but more well adjusted than Wine, because it's like
it was like someone
pop.
was trying to go for something and they just missed.
They just missed. But then on the other hand, Brat is way more intentional. In like,
I am all about the Brat thing.
With good reason.
Yeah, I don't know any of the music. I just know that there was a moment, it was Brat, and I know it was made for like drunk women and gay dudes.
And was co-opted by the Kamala campaign.
Yes.
It was Brat Girl Summer.
Yeah.
Kamala is Brat. Does our Obama orientation inform us at all? I don't really know. I feel like it's hideous. I don't want to say it's
not well adjusted. It is on this.
It's not well. It's
on the serial killer.
Is it right next to Bronner's?
I think it's right below.
Oops.
Oh, it is kind of pleasant. Yeah, I think it's above Online Ceramics and closer to Pleasant.
It might be probably around there.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yes.
This is also representative.
I don't know what this is.
You won't know what this is. This is just a Vietnamese place in Eagle Rock.
You just took a photo of a restaurant that you like. Okay.
Yes, but it represents something to me, which is you go to a restaurant like this that it specializes in a certain kind of cuisine that is not American.
Yes.
And you see a menu like this.
Yes.
For me,
it's trying to make white people comfortable.
Well, I think it's so ugly that I think they barely put it together. And
they hired someone to make this.
Yeah, but it might be a kid. It might be like the owner's son did it because he has access to Photoshop or something. All I'm saying is that when I see a menu like this, I'm like, I think I'm gonna get some good food.
Yes, 100%. I see that. I like a try less menu. A lot of times menus like that, if they have too much on them, I'm worried.
Yeah. But as far as a hole in a wall, I think...
They spent enough money to let you know that they're not going to cheap out.
Yeah, and they have waiters.
Yes.
Yeah. So I feel... I don't think this is... I think this is incredibly well adjusted, but... That's probably right about there. I think almost in the Trader Joe's territory, but maybe...
it's not pleasant to me. Yeah, it's in that zone.
Yeah. I think it's well intentioned and hideous.
Yeah.
Okay, our last three here is, do you know this sauce, Fly by Jing sauce?
No, but I love it.
Delicious.
Yeah. I'm not a huge spice guy.
Oh, okay. It's Sichuan, so it has this very specific spicy like licking a battery kind of tongue nummy thing. It's great. If you've never had Sichuan
right.
Chinese, it's fantastic. This I think is really online ceramics adjacent, because this was done by
It's on the pleasant side for me.
it's done by a studio called Day Job, and I think they're an LA based design studio. It's a brand new product, maybe 4 or 5 years old. It's really good, and they do a really good job of making things just a little weird looking to kind of break through the noise, which is maybe actually probably is more in common with Liquid Death than anything.
And the pickles.
I think it's right over here.
I think they touch.
Yeah, somewhere in here.
Yeah. I honestly find it more pleasant than Liquid Death.
Oh.
Like there.
Yep. Yeah. I agree with that. Our final two, you might not recognize this out of context.
I do recognize it out of context.
Oh,
we all love a U-Haul.
The U-Haul illustrations.
Yes.
Why do it, but also why not do it?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
They're kind of beautiful, but also like really hard on the eyes.
Yes. When you see one, you're like, what is this? And then you're like, oh, okay. They all feel like websites from the early 2000s.
Wait, I have Craigslist literally underneath it.
But well-designed websites from the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Like that was cutting
Like
edge.
a Flash website.
And they all got the same thing to match the website.
Uh-huh.
And you would click on whatever state you were looking for a U-Haul, and this would pop up next to it with the names of all your local dealerships. You know what I mean?
Is this really what I did, or are you just imagining this?
No, this is what I'm imagining.
I totally believe it.
And then they just rolled it all out, and it's been on the trucks ever since, and they haven't bought a new truck since.
Don't you want to know? Don't you want to know who actually made? This is very detailed work. Look how detailed this is.
But also, is it?
Incredible. I mean, this is all done in Illustrator, which is it's not freehand drawn. You have to kind of click points to make shapes. This is really
What year do we think this was made? 1997, 96,
2008, 2010.
No.
I truly think this is relatively modern. I think they locked in on a style maybe 30, 20 years ago or something, and I bet you they're still making new ones. I bet you there's someone who's like, I'm the illustrator.
I can tell you this from personal experience. This was around in 2005 or 6, because I remember being drunk, hungover, laying on a sidewalk as my roommate Andy went in to rent us a U-Haul because I was up drinking a bottle of Malibu rum on our front steps, and being the most hungover I've ever been in my life, laying on the floor in front of a U-Haul station with my roommate Mort at the time, and us laughing so much at how hungover and terrible we felt. And then we had to move all day.
Oh God.
It was.
How old were you?
22.
Okay, you can do that at 22.
But it was one of the worst, best days of my life.
Yeah, that tracks.
And this was the art that accompanied us.
This style, this specific one.
Not this specific one, but it would have been like the Illinois one.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a bunch of these. I kind of love it, and I actually think it's oddly pleasant.
It is pleasant.
I don't think it's serial killer.
No, it's not at all. This was made by your nerd uncle.
Yeah.
This is giving nerd uncle. So it's like high up towards adjusted and high up towards pleasant, leaning towards bad. It's like right up in that left.
I think it's uglier. It's as ugly,
but it's nowhere near
pickles.
nowhere near serial killer. It's well adjusted. It's up into the left.
Yeah, you're right.
Just before crossing over into bad territory. Up more, top left corner, right there.
Yeah,
that's where it lives.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And then finally, the Craigslist website.
Pleasant. Perfect. It's as close to the Obama logo as you can get for me.
I agree. I disagree. I think it's pretty close to serial killer, actually.
Really?
Yes.
It's so simple.
It just, nothing has stayed updated. It's so like they've purposely never updated the interface. It still looks like just like raw dog HTML.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Yeah.
If something's not broke, you don't need to fix it. Though I will say, as I'm looking at it right now, it does feel like it is related to Brad. Yeah.
I think
so. It's close to pleasant, low-end serial killer. And then maybe it rides the line on the opposite corner.
Even the like my choice of online ceramics shirt, like clearly
put it right in the middle between Brad and online ceramics, and that's where it lives.
I think you're right. I think it's somewhere around there.
But also, I think it's more on the line towards pleasant. Oh God, it really lives. It is the thing that connects all things.
Oh God.
It
Kinda
connects
right.
Dr. Bronner, Brat, Online Ceramics.
Maybe like right there.
It's where you go to buy those pickles.
You're right. Heading to Montauk, collecting money for Grillo's pickles. Here's my phone number.
Yeah.
Pickle guy. I got a pickle guy. I found him on Craigslist.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is that's everything. How do you I feel really good about this.
I feel great about it.
I think this was an insane exercise.
It was. For the audio listeners, you're really going to miss out on this one.
This is impossible. This is impossible just audio.
If you are this deep in the episode and you're just listening to audio,
what can we send you as a thank you?
We're putting you in the serial killer section. But pleasant.
Yeah. This was this tested me as far as I thought I had preconceived notions of some of these things, but seeing them in context of other things really
helps you figure them out,
and also just really made me aware of how much mental health plays in design, and how sometimes you can wield that.
Yeah.
Are there any big surprises for you here?
Craigslist, man. I agree with where it is, but I, in my heart of hearts, would think it would be well adjusted. But seeing it in the context of the 3 closest to it, it makes so much sense.
Biggest surprise.
Also, Craigslist to me does have a bit more of the, like I look at the it's good. It's good. Yes.
Biggest surprise for me is I did not expect how close to serial killer the PlayStation 5 was going to get.
Oh yeah.
But I have no second thoughts about that.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly where it's supposed to go.
You know, is this crazy? I don't think Jaguar should be in serial killer. I think Jaguar should be in Pleasant.
I think you're right.
I think
it should be way high up.
But
too well adjusted.
No. Oh, on the see where Cybertruck is? It's where Cybertruck would be on the opposite side of Pleasant.
So like there?
Up, like up there. Like see,
yeah.
Like it's.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Yeah, I completely agree. I think that's where Jaguar is supposed to go.
Yeah.
Because it is closer. It is bland. It gets into the bland
thing.
Cybertruck, that's where that's supposed to go.
We figured it out.
Barefoot Wine was a real, not a curveball, but I never thought I would spend so much time talking about Barefoot Wine.
Oh, I could talk about Barefoot Wine for hours.
I feel like Yellowtail was the one I ended up drinking a lot of.
Oh, yeah.
Tastes like battery acid.
Yellowtail was the one that came for Barefoot Wines. It was like, hey, Barefoot Wines, we got better design.
Yeah, it was Australian.
It
looked exotic. It looked like something you would bring to a dinner party.
100%.
At 19.
That's what these wines were made for.
You're totally right.
Barefoot Wine and Yellowtail were like and then also House Wine, which was the Trader Joe's version, which was a well-designed, pull up House Wine. This is a well-designed cheap wine label. So this was like your $8 to $10 bottle of wine, maybe
It's
8 to 12 House Wine.
This guy?
That one.
Oh, this is good. This is not, as for a canned wine, it's really not that bad.
They just pivoted into canned wine in the past couple of years, but like they used to do like Merlot or like see their different versions. House Wine, Merlot.
Bottle?
Yeah. Yeah, like these kinds of designs, but they used to be slightly different, but in the early 2000s, this was like I want to impress this lady who I'm bringing over to drink in my apartment with 4 roommates that has no electricity.
No money, and I want to act like an adult real quick.
Yeah.
Where'd it go? Well, either way. Fuck you, man. We did it.
We did it. This was a fun one.
This was really fun.
Yeah.
You're up next time?
I am. And next time we will be doing The Last Waltz, the Martin Scorsese documentary about the band and the band's cinematic universe.
This is so boomer coded.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
I just finished watching the Yacht Rock documentary.
How was it?
Great.
Nice. Ooh, you know what I was thinking is like a fun little thing for the end, for like a thing we can throw in?
Tell me.
What's one thing we each recommend someone checks out this week?
Oh, man. That's a good one. I have a real quick one, which is I watched the Beetlejuice sequel. It's out on streaming now.
Yeah.
It's fucking awful. It's a real huge disappointment. It's such a bummer. So I would recommend going back to the first Beetlejuice, which is, I think today, one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
It has everything I've ever want from like something campy and fun and also like still confusing to me.
Yes.
And I love it. So I recommend Beetlejuice.
Well, you know what? You did an old movie. I'm going to do an old movie. You know what I saw recently for the first time?
What?
Pretty Woman.
I've never seen Pretty Woman.
Dude, Pretty Woman is a perfect movie. It is everything you want in like, it was like when they still made movies in the 80s and 90s that were a story and had great actors doing like, this is kind of a zany plot, but we're going to play this totally real, totally grounded. And the acting and the moments are real. And you feel like, oh, these are two real people actually connecting. It was when movies were good.
Damn.
Pretty Woman. I had seen it before, and nothing's played too slapsticky. Also, young George Costanza in it.
Really?
Yeah, is like one of the leading roles, which is fun to see Jason Alexander in a not George role.
Yeah, really.
And he plays kind of a prick. Not even kind of. He plays a prick. And it's like...
He's fun on camera.
He's great. And you're
Yeah.
like, I see why this guy could have became a giant star. Yeah. So Pretty Woman, if you've never seen it, if you have a significant other you're trying to have a nice little date night with, I highly recommend Pretty Woman. I watched it twice.
Damn.
Yeah, it was just on repeat on the TV.
That's some commitment to Richard Gere, which
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of experience
Love
with Richard Gere filmography.
And it's like, it's also fun if you wanted to do a double feature. I recommend American Gigolo and Pretty Woman because you get Richard Gere on both sides. One, he's the prostitute. The other one, he's the John. And on both sides, one movie's the dark, one movie's the light.
Wow. How about that?
Double feature. Pretty Woman, American Gigolo.
We had 1:30 here. That's amazing. We are pretty good at killing time here.
We went deep.
Yeah. This has been great.
Hope you enjoyed.
Thanks so much. And
Like and subscribe.
subscribe. Also, maybe when this releases, I will post a blank PNG of this. So I'm curious what
Other people
would put weird logos and shit up. We'll
Yeah.
see. We never did anything like that before. Let's check it out. We'll try it out.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, gang.
Thanks, gang. Bye.